Hi, this is IK. Welcome to PostList explanation, PostList rendering explanation. Here in PostList component, we declare three states: post, status, and error. That post, status, and error is there is a value return what use selector return. Use selector is hook what connect state with state from Redux from store, connect with the React component, uh, give data. Use selector is like listener who listen changes in state in Redux, global state. And if there is a changes, immediately use selector send new value to that to the state2 component. Okay, here use selector is hook and parameter of here is arrow function. And look at state go in parameter of arrow function, and in body that state dot post dot post. State is common state of Redux, common state of Redux. And inside that common state, it is a root state of Redux. In that root state, we have a slice. Every properties of that state, there is a slice. And we have only one slice, posts. And it is posts. It is object post, concretely here in this application, object post. And that object post, there is a properties post, same name, never mind. We can change it, that names, but it is like this. Object post. It is properties. And it means that it is array that here declared variable post will be array coming from Redux, from store, from reducer, that post. Status, constant status equal properties status. Again, common state, root state of Explorer. There is a posts, object post, one slice, post slice, plural. And that object post, there is a properties status. And the same here. Declare error, state equals state.post.error. Object, our slice, our object is name is post, and there is three properties. Why we need three properties? Why we don't use only posts array? It is our data, and we called it payload. But why we need status and error? We need status and error because Redux, we use Redux. It is because of Redux. Redux is full, hard duty manager of state. And that status will set loading in which phase is asynchronous process. Loading, pending, fulfilled, or rejected. And that status said must inform Redux. Thunk will dispatch that action type, pending, fulfilled, or rejected. And that status, status when status coming in the state and in Redux and we have new state. Because of that, that status we use in user interface, loading for show some animation of loading, uh, for example, and succeed. We can use some in user interface also for some other animation. Uh, okay, now we know if we don't use Redux, but there is application I show later. Uh, there is no Redux. I don't use Redux, and in that application we have only post, and we have state post without properties because it is array. There is no properties, and we have this other properties of state. Here is state, our state, there is a state, Redux state, root state, it is it. There is our state post only, and it is object. There is three properties. It is object, it is post reducer, or it is post slice. Post slice is created reducer, and created that one reducer, post slice. And we have that post slice name is post plural, and it is object. There is three properties. Okay. And here in post list, we declare three state, post, status, and error. Now we know what is it, what is user selector, and we connected our variable post status and error is connected by a user selector, connected on to that value in Redux, in store, in reducer. Okay. Usually we have a user state instead of this. User state in other combination, or for example, add post, add new post, we have user state. And that user state always have a initial value. And every component must go through initial rendering. It is first rendering. State would be what we write in parameter of use state. But here, use selector connected use selector is value. Use selector return value. What value? Value from Redux, from reducer. It means that we have advanced initial state. We must have initial state because all must exist, that our user selector can connect. This is post list. We need that list, role of that list is show us all posts. And the user selector must be connected on something. On what? Connected on Redux, connected on state in Redux, state in store, state on reducer. And it means before initial rendering of post list, we must have declared active initial state. That use selector have something, some value to return here to our state here. Who create that initial value? That initial value create Redux when Redux and our React established background for all other. It is in that process they establish and post our object, our state in store. Where it is in store of Redux. From what coming that initial state coming from post slice. Post slice is reducer. Here it is, initial state. What is name of our state in Redux? In Redux, name here we see initial state is post empty array status idle in error null value. It is object here initial state, but our object name of our object is postus plural. It is a name of our object. And here is create slice, declare all configuration of all our reducer inside of store. And store is a principal main part of Redux. Name of our state, our slice is post, it is object. Initial state would be first value of post. And here is a reducer, extra reducer builder and method add case, what have connection with user interface and connected with the Thunk. Thunk return response to add case, and we see on the screen what we see. And post slice, where is established that initial value? Redux, that is where is established Redux, where is established store of Redux. Here is a reducer. Here it is in index.js. Index.js root is object is fundament. It is our React application, root of a React application, method render, and execution of this is finished with establishment establish Redux and React and Redux. How? There is a provider element, a React element. It is a React element who have props store equal store, and we must look what is a store. Here, store is configuration of reducer. It means a reducer, it is a common state of Redux state, what we call in VC state, will be dot posts, that posts, and that object post is here. We have only one post reducer, we call it. It coming from post slice. It coming from a post slice. You look at it. Coming from post slice. Post reducer, it is post slice. And it is our reducer. Post slice, it is a reducer. And the name of that our object, that our slice, that our is post plural. Reducer is a common state. If we have more slice, more state, for example, comments would be below post reducer would be comments reducer, reply comments reply reducer, etc. Okay, and when execute this code execute in provider. It is properties of provider here in index index.js. Here it is. Here it is execution. Provider, there is a props store equals complete configuration of our reducer, our store and our reducer inside that store. And we can say that app is child of provider, but it is not child like we see in app. App, this is child of app. React element, React element, child. It is JSX language, and at post form, at post slice is child. It is true to say, but sometimes we can heard, or you can heard that somebody said to child here in index.js, in index.js, but it is strictly that React element provider wrap app topic component of React. But that provider, there is a prop store. And here must be execute provider first for context to create complete context for app. What that context mean? That context mean create a Redux connected to our React. Here is our root is our React. Render is method of root, and we have rendered provider who wrap topic component of React. But provider component coming from React Redux package, and it means that component create all about Redux connected to our React. Our React is now through that topic component app, and provider wrap our app, and store is creation of reducer. And the reducer, there is input state and action, and there is output state. And that output state now is initial state. This moment is initial state when finished this execution of this code. And we have all complete ready to rendered app. App have two child. First rendered child add new form. After that post list, and we now talk about post list. Post list, back to post list. Post list. Post list, there is a state post, status, and error. It is connected, they connected to Redux to store. They connected to state. It is a Redux common state. They connected to post object, our post reducer, our post slice, post object, and it is post. Also for status is the same, and for error is here declared error. It means that initial state would be use selector. What use selector return? There is no use state here, but use selector. What use selector return? What will use selector return for initial rendering? Will return this post. What is value of that post? Okay, let's go to see in post slice. Post will be empty array. What will be value of status? Initial rendering of post list it would be idle, string idle. What will be error? Value of error would be null in that initial rendering. And let's go to C. Here it is. In initial rendering, empty array is empty, status is idle, and error is null. It is first initial rendering. About second rendering, what is because of use effect, in the next video. Thank you for watching this video.